Call this meeting in order at 12:05. We'll start off first of all with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Follow up with Victoria, it's on you, roll call.
Mr. Jose D. Gonzalez.
Present.
Mr. Judd Gilpin.
Present.
Ms. Elizabeth Alonso Villarreal. Not present. Mr. Carlos Gordillo. Not present. Mr. George Narvaez. Not present. Mr. Hector Cortez.
Present.
Mr. John Gilo. Not present. Mr. Joel Benavides.
Present.
And Ms. Elia Guevara.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Outstanding. All right. We've all received the minutes, or I don't know if you received the minutes. You want to take a couple minutes, to look at them and sit there, and anybody wants to make a motion?
I think we all read them, they sent them to us.
No?
Move to approve. Second.
Second. So, Hector, motions. We'll do Judd, second. Okay.
All right, so in the interest of time, I'm gonna motion to move up the action items.
Fair enough. Let me just go with the citizens' comments first, and then we'll go ahead and go with the action items, yeah. Citizen comments, are there any citizen comments that were presented, submitted?
We don't believe there are any citizen comments at the moment.
All right. So we can move forward. Okay, with that being said, there's a motion on the table to move up the action items with Judd, second, Hector. And we'll move up the action items first then.
Yes. I will ask for you to consider, Mr. Chairman, a table action item number 1. We've been advised that that letter of award is we're gonna receive it until December, not just yet. So I would like for you to motion to table for now.
So moved.
Okay. Just the amount, how much is it, just to make sure we put it on record?
$2.5 million, and on the course of 5 years, we're gonna get the total $10 million. That was the check.
Fair enough, okay. Motion taken, so.
So there's a motion.
There's a motion, second?
Second.
Joe? Okay. Well, in favor, so we all go move forward, that's all.
Okay. Item number 2, it's a consideration to recommend to the mayor and city council a public hearing and introductory ordinance authorizing the interim city manager to amend the City of Laredo FY 2022 airport operations budget to appropriate revenues and expenses by the amount of $250,000 for the Laredo International Airport's Small Community Air Service Development Program. Funds will be used for airport marketing air service. The city's local match in the amount of $75,000 is available in the Airport Operations Fund and $75,000 in the Conventions and Visitors Bureau Fund, providing for severability and providing for an effective date. This is a grant that we apply for marketing, making sure we promote our airport and stop the leakage to San Antonio and Austin, basically. I know it says match here, but it's not technically a match of $150,000. It's just the plan that we provided to the government. That way we will be more competitive against other airports that we're competing against. This was a competitive grant. The airport hasn't gotten it since 2013. So we're lucky enough to be selected, $250,000 to spend on marketing and for the next 3 years. It's just basically what it is.
And does this also include all the deficiencies that we've been looking at in reference to the flights to Mexico City as well?
Yeah, it's gonna cover everything. It's just wide open for marketing services to make citizens aware of the services the airport provides, and it'll apply to everything.
Including the commercial operations that we have at Bias?
Yes, everything.
Okay, and is there somebody here at the airport that oversees that, the way it's been, or is it just the marketing they decide on their own?
No, it will be our money, and we'll decide on what to spend. Obviously, coordinating with Madison, which is our publicity agency, but but it's administered by us, by the airport.
I'm unclear on something. So it's 250, right?
Yes,
And 75 comes from,
from the airport and 75 from CBD. It's 75 that we might already be spending. It was just labeled it a match, but like I said, it's not a match. It was just the plan that we presented to be more competitive.
so it's 75 from the airport budget,
And 75 from CBD's budget.
175 from CDB.
150 total. 75 and 75.
That says 250. So it's,
Yeah, but that's the money that we're getting from the federal, that's the grant.
Oh, that's the
250.
match. So that's how the match, I got you.
Okay.
We're getting 250 and we're putting in 150 of our own money.
I
So
got
it'll
you.
make a total of 400,000 in marketing efforts in the span of 3 years.
For 3 years.
So the 250 is coming from the grant?
From the grant, correct.
Doesn't seem to read like that, does it? I don't know. It seems, I read it, that's why it was confusing to me.
Yeah.
And you might want to, for the minutes, make sure it communicates what you just said, just double check it.
Yeah.
Because it seems to say something different.
Yeah, we'll make sure the grant's name is Small Community Air Development Service Program, so maybe we should.
Put the word grant in there at least, because it doesn't look like,
Grant.
so.
Yeah.
It doesn't read like, it looks like it's coming from a
Yeah.
fund.
So it's 75 from the city, from the airport, and 75 from the hotel deal?
CBD, Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Where's the other 75 come from?
Airport.
Okay,
and
gotcha. So that's 150.
150.
So the whole
plus-
deal's gonna be 400?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Put into marketing efforts.
If you could mention as well that we have a total of 400.
Yes.
In 3 years.
Yeah, probably we need to like amend this,
Yeah.
right?
And we'll put it-
Okay.
Okay.
Motion to approve with clarification.
All right.
Yeah.
Noted classification, I know it's just,
Yeah.
there's no, what I call, clear definition that he's saying, just with clarification that we discussed, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Second? Okay, Hector, second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposition? Motion passes.
Item number 3, consideration to recommend to the mayor and city council to reject proposals received for RFP FY 22030 real estate consulting services for the Laredo International Airport and request authorization to resolicitation for a new formal request for proposals. There is no financial impact for action taken on this motion. On this, what happened is the procurement services labs. I mean, we've been negotiating for 6 months and we couldn't come to an agreement on how the money the airport will pay upfront to the real estate consultant, the real estate agent. So we decided to close it up, close this and go back again for formal request again and be more specific on the proposal, on the request, saying that how much, how is the airport's gonna pay upfront the real estate agents.
How is this?
Hello, everyone. I can't even hear what y'all are saying. Sorry. I think it's your connection. Can you hear me fine?
Super connected.
Yes.
Okay, because I can't hear a word y'all are saying. I don't even know if y'all started the meeting or not.
Sorry.
Okay, can you hear us now? No? Yes, no?
Better,
Okay.
but yeah,
The mic was too far away, so now it's right here with me.
there you go. So maybe if you can just speak louder and what item are y'all on?
We're doing the number 3, the action item number 3. I was just explaining that it's been 6 months and our purchasing and procurement process has lapsed, and that's why our purchasing recommended that we go again for bids, open it up again, and be more specific on the RFP.
Okay, so I'm glad I came in. I don't wanna, if y'all are already discussing, but I do have some comments from, the person who was submitting a proposal.
Okay?
You want me to comment right now or before you all vote?
You haven't started anything, go ahead, we just now got it discussed, and it's open for comments as you speak.
Okay, all right. Mr. Gonzalez contacted me, and I think that I had contacted you, Mr. Sanchez, that he was trying to get a hold of you.
Yes.
So I said, just, call him or whatever. Anyway, so he said he was looking at the agenda for today's and saw that this particular item was going to be recommending to city council to, remove it, and because of what you just said, something about purchasing, but what he wanted to mention was that, he had tried getting a hold of you, Mr. Sanchez,
Yes.
and, nobody has contacted him back, whether it's you or purchasing, and
Okay.
he doesn't understand why this item is being recommended to be, removed for consideration. I
Yeah.
just wanna make those comments that he was expecting
Yeah.
a callback with other alternatives and all that, so he doesn't, and this is, I'm just saying what he's telling me, right?
Yes, absolutely.
He didn't get any notice or anything, and he would just like to, he wants to speak in opposition of it, I guess he wants to work with the city, but he didn't understand why he wasn't notified or why, but he's willing to work, but
Yeah.
just doesn't understand.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I understand that, I mean, this doesn't mean that, he can reapply when we open it up again, and, we'll be more specific on what we're able to pay. The problem here, I mean, and just to make it real quick.
Can you speak up a little louder, cause I can't hear you?
Well, just
Do
to,
you want me to
I
call?
don't think those are on.
Do you want me to call?
are these
They're not
on?
on. They're not
Can you
on.
hear me?
Hold on.
No, yeah, but they're not on.
Okay.
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 Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Let me get the meeting.
All right, Victoria's gonna work some magic.
Sorry.
They're not on.
They're not on?
No.
Well,
Yeah, no.
Is it down?
No, it's not.
It needs to be down.
Remember, we can drive
Yeah,
that
you
one.
can hear me though, right?
How do I find you?
Yes.
I think that's the one.
That's the key one.
It reaches?
And it's long, yeah.
Ah.
There you go.
There you go.
No, I think that one's for the,
All right,
that one's for the camera.
Hello, hello.
That one's for the,
For the camera.
You need it on this phone and everything.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the meeting phone numbers. Give me like 2 minutes.
See, I can hear you fine there, Victoria.
It's because I'm
I
right next
can
to
hear
it.
you.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
next to the
next to the computer.
soundboard.
Speak louder, Gilberto.
Oh, and I can go to the computer.
Um,
Can you hear me now? Better?
Yes.
Okay. And real quick, just to, just where all this debacle or negotiation started is when the realtor came in and said, well, if I bring somebody that's gonna be here for 20 years, well, the commission will be, is usually 1 month for the time they're here, so it'll be, let's just say for this example that the total commission, the rent will be in a 20-year span will be $3 million. Well, he stated he will be, if I'm not mistaken, 5% of that. So 5% of $3 million, whatever the amount is, he wanted the amount up front. And I say, well, I don't have the cash. Well, I do have the cash, but I have other commitments that I need to pay. I cannot pay you for a 20-year commitment upfront when I don't know if the person is gonna stay for 20 million. I mean, having a contract signed doesn't mean anything. Plus, well, I don't have the flexibility to pay upfront $1 million or whatever the amount is on a big deal of 20 years or 30 years or so. So while we were back and forth on that, how can we make it manage? We proposed some payments in a span of 5 years or so, payment for the first month or every fiscal year will be easier for the airport. But that's where we were, and we never got to an agreement. So it's been 6 months. So purchasing saying that you have it open too long, so nothing there's no decision, we need to reopen it, and maybe you can clarify all those things on the new proposal. Having said that, we're gonna, if you make a deal of so many years, we'll pay in 5 years the principal or whatever the fee is gonna be for the realtor. I said, okay, fine, we'll do that. We'll just reopen it and be more specific on what our needs are.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll leave that up to you all as far as negotiations and things like that, because that's what you all are doing, and yeah, I can understand about money up front. Yeah, I'd be a little hesitant about that too, but I guess the only thing is, Mr. Lozada should have been notified that you were instructed to close out the negotiations, and I guess, as a courtesy, maybe he could have been informed as to the reasons why.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and that was something that we were told that purchasing was gonna do. I don't know if they did or not, so.
apparently not, yeah. Yeah, if not, he wouldn't be calling.
Mr.
Yeah,
Alonso?
so,
Victoria has something to say since.
I was
She was helping
notified
out.
by purchasing that they would be sending an email Monday after the staff meeting. If they haven't done it, I haven't been notified. But I can follow up with them and see what the holdup is on notifying, because they're not supposed to just notify him, it's all the vendors. So they're still pending notifying the other applicants as well.
right, so is this gonna be before the city council meeting?
They should. Since purchasing is in charge of the RFP, they're the ones that are supposed to be in contact with the vendors, not us.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Don't have any more comments on this.
Taking into consideration the way it's written, I think it's very vague and also brought up a lot more information as detailed. I know that we probably have it on the proposal, there's a bit more detail on that, so, but maybe just a little more clarity on that it's not closing out, but just, explaining why they're closing it out, just to reopen again.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and he can reapply, and if things go the way they went back then, he can get it again. It's.
Understood the confusion, so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had a question.
Yeah.
For the reopening, should we have some kind of rules for everyone that would like to participate on it for the next time? Like specifically, what is it that?
I'm sure legal comes out with that, because the legal contract has to work with that, so the city legal probably proposes that, but the only thing is, we just see the generic information just to make the recommendation, yes or no, so.
Oh.
Correct.
On procurements I've been involved in, when they go too long, it really just gives an opportunity to the successful person to get out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily require that it be really solicited, because he might not get it this next time. They've all seen everybody's numbers,
Yeah.
and everybody's doesn't seem fair.
Yeah. Well, and also we only got two proposals, and there's a whole bunch of real estate agents out there. It was probably not advertised very well, also.
Maybe so.
They can go to the marketing thing that were approved just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay, well, a motion, anybody would like to make a motion on this? Hector, second? Good. All in favor?
Hi.
Liz, you wanna vote on this, or?
Against.
Against, okay, so she's against.
Against.
All right. Everybody but Liz on favor, so, Vice President, so,
Yes.
the motion passed.
Okay, you wanna move up the staff report?
We'll go to staff reports unless you wanna go to the presentation.
They're the first ones on the stuff.
Yeah, they're the
Okay.
first one.
Good.
Do you want me to try? Yes, let's try calling in so we don't have to go stand up the computer. The phone number is, or no.
Just before we get started, I guess you heard some of the concerns about, especially the real estate, and I know the Mets go, so we can kind of promote that thing, we don't wanna lose that opportunity, so.
Because purchasing is actually itchy.
Do you all want me to sit at this table closer to the mic, or?
Who it is, right?
We'll get it here right now. Yeah, shortly.
Chewy's daughter.
There you go. There's one.
Yeah. Chewy's daughter, man. Yeah. Yeah. Not the city manager, county judge, Municipal Court Judge.
Oh, wait.
Chile Dominguez.
Business Code, Victoria?
I think she gets it
No,
from
we
her
don't have
mother.
that.
Yeah, I think so too. Most
There's not a
definitely.
table with it.
Oh, yeah, what's the number?
It's 401-418-9388.
401?
418-9388.
No, it's not. It's not completing the call.
Did you pay the bill, Sandra?
Yes, I.
Partial.
Maybe that's for that.
You think?
I think. I don't know.
Then I can't bring it up on my phone.
Yeah, because it's just it's also just a regular night. It's like a WebEx one.
Okay, here, it's supposed to be one.
Here.
Oh, I did.
Got it?
91 408 418 9388.
9388.
418?
Yeah,
418?
9388.
What?
408?
408,
418?
418,
Uh-huh. And then 9388.
You can read that?
Call cannot be completed.
You have to put 91.
Not without them.
Okay, go.
1,
1,
408.
408, 418,
9388.
9388. There you go.
Welcome to WebEx.
You're gonna do the access
Enter
code.
your access code or meeting number followed by pound.
24
86
86 9
47
Oh, 47.
47
947
5198.
51.
98.
It's like that on college returns.
Literally.
Are we in?
Your entry 2 4 8 6 4 7
Oh, you
5
put four of them
1
more.
9 8 is not valid
It
or the
was
meeting is not
947.
started
Yes.
yet.
Enter again.
Re-enter your access code or meeting number followed by pound.
24.
86 947 5198.
And then pounds on it.
No, just like that.
I think it is pound.
You just
Yeah.
pound at the
Enter your
end.
attendee ID number followed by pound.
Just hit pound.
If you do not know your attendee number,
So for
Just hit
pound,
have pound.
Just
There you go.
here. Can
All right. Now, can you hear us better, Miss Alonso?
You won't hear her. No, we can't hear her.
All right, we can hear.
Well, it's just a presentation.
yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there.
It's not. Is it sharing?
Is it sharing?
Sorry.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
sharing.
Okay, go to staff's report. The first one, update from Patty Kirby and Jacob Patiño from Madison Avenue about the marketing plans that's what was requested last meeting. So I'll just turn it over to Patty and Jacob.
First of all, I want to be mindful of your all's time. How much do we have so I can squeeze it in there?
5 minutes?
No.
Shop at the micro machines guy.
Thought about it.
Remember those commercials? Well, thank you all for having us and for inviting us to be part of the meeting. Yeah, we were kind of told the gist of this was so that we could introduce ourselves to you and sort of explain some of the services that we offer to the Laredo Airport. And then kind of we can segue from there into some of the ad buys that the airport is currently doing in order to drive attention to some of those important initiatives that you were just talking about. So this is Jacob, and I'm Patty. Our company is Madison Avenue Marketing Agency. We're here in Laredo. We're all lifelong Laredoans at our agency. When we first met the airport and the airport admin, they approached us because they had previously been working with an out-of-town ad agency, which is the way a lot of our local clients find us. They come with some of the same things. Hey, these people are in New York, they've never been to Laredo, they don't have any pictures of us, they never sent anyone down, we've never even met them in person. They don't speak Spanish. Our Cinco de Mayo post, there was a Q in the word cinco. You know, those are the kinds of feedback that we get from people. There's no Hispanic people in the images that they post, you know, and they're stock images. All the other airports in the country use them too. It's generic. So those are some of the initiatives that they approach us with. Can you help us with this? So we were very lucky to be able to present to the airport sort of what we bring to the table in order to address all of those problems and issues for the airport. And of course, as you guys know, everything that goes through the city has to go through a very detailed process, right? So like everyone else, we put in our proposal, it went through city council, a few rounds later, here we are. So we started working jointly with the airport about this time last year. It was summer, it was around June, July. But at that time, we were still sharing the airport with their current ad agency, which you all may have heard them name dropped, Advanced Media out of New York. So we were kind of sharing social media with them for a while. Reason being, their contract with Advanced Media only gave the airport maybe like 2 social media posts a week. Obviously, anyone here who's worked in business or social media knows that you have to be a little more aggressive than that, right? So we've doubled that. After working with the airport a few months, sharing the social media with Advanced Media, what we did is we transitioned to put ourselves forward as the ad agency, the comprehensive ad agency, when that opportunity arose, so that we can kind of absorb everything. So at Madison Avenue, our value proposition is that it's not just me and Jacob here. We have an entire team of professionals, okay? So everyone on our team has education combined with experience. There's a lot of master's degrees there in marketing, okay? A lot of bachelor's degrees. These are all Laredoans. So we have graphic designers, we have professional copywriters and journalists, okay? We have web designers and web managers. We have professional videographers. We have professional photographers. We like to think of every one of our employees as a little Swiss Army knife that could do a little bit of everything, but everyone does have their specialty. Myself, I've been a media buyer for about 20 years now, so we'll get to a little bit more on that. So that's our value proposition, right? Instead of hiring, let's say, a marketing person, right, at your business. Think of a business you may be aware of. Okay, you get a marketing person. How much can that person really do? Do you expect them to know everything? That's kind of impossible. That's kind of a big ask. And if they do know everything, you're probably gonna have to pay them a good chunk of change, right? That's their salary. Are you gonna purchase all the expensive equipment for them? Are you going to train them on all those things? So we're sort of plug and play, right? So that's what we bring to the airport. We have the staff, we have the expensive equipment, we have all the training. You don't need to teach us anything. You literally plug and play. So that's where we came in. These were the main primary campaign objectives that the airport, I don't know if we can lower that screen on the bottom, it's in the way, that they wanted us to focus on. So in our proposal, when we first met with the airport, the big priorities was to manage the social media, again, because Advanced Media was just posting very little and they didn't really understand anything locally. Professional photography and videography, which the airport has never had before. Website management, which again was done out of New York with a template-based website that again many other generic airports have in their marketing strategies. And graphic design. So whenever you guys need an invitation to a party or a billboard or something designed that's very pretty and professional, we do that as well. So this was one of the most important things to the airport. So the reason that video didn't exist prior was, again, these people were in New York. So no one was gonna purchase a plane ticket to fly down here with all the equipment and do it. Since we've been with the airport, there has been countless videos that we've done for them. They just wouldn't fit in this presentation. So anytime the airport has an event, like most recently they unveiled Chick-fil-A at the airport, or Congressman Cuellar was here to say, hey, we got this big federal grant for terminal improvements. We've been there every time. The 5K last summer, we've been there every time. We come, we shoot beautiful professional video, and then you get to post them on social media. And not just for social media, we post them on the website. And not just for that, we also help the TV stations, which we're all very good friends with, right? So Univision, KGNS, you need some footage. You couldn't send a reporter, you guys were tied up. Here's the video. You could still run it, not a problem. We got you covered. And it's much better than that was probably sorry, whoops. It's professional video, you know, it's not news grade. So we do come out and cover all of these events. Again, that's something that was never around before. The other important part of using video, besides having something to help the TV stations with or to post on social media, since that is the most engaging format on social, is for TV buys. So when we first came on with the airport, Advanced Media had done a few media buys on TV, like KGNS, for example. And we wanted to expand on that. But in order to do that, they need beautiful commercials, right? So that's what we were tasked with as well. Is there audio here? So we can show, like, for example, like the Idomot commercial.
I've actually been seeing it, Joe. I've been seeing it.
There we go. So what you've seen so far is like social media and TV news. Right here, what you're going to see is for television and streaming.
Flying direct to Mexico City from Laredo is easy as 1, 2, 3, Idomar. 1. Get your tickets at idomar.mx. 2. Use coupon code Visit LRT for big savings. 3. Have the time of your life in Mexico City with world-class shopping, concerts, sports, and more. Vacation starts now with Idomar at Laredo International Airport.
So we'll delve a little more into how we disseminate that to the public in just a bit, but that is a standard 30-second TV commercial made for broadcast. And the good thing about being here and being constantly involved in these weekly meetings that we have with airport admin and the monthly meetings that we have with Idomar gives us a very in-depth perspective about what the needs are. So in this case, the commercial, the inspiration for the Idomar commercial that you just watched was because Idomar themselves, the company of Idomar, expressed that people were having trouble using their website to purchase tickets. So I don't know, have you all ever tried to purchase Idomar tickets? You have to go through the Idomar website, and it's not a simple process. It's not very user-friendly.
And sometimes the offers, at the end of everything, you go through all the steps, it would not give you the price that you were supposed to get.
Or it was in pesos, which for an American consumer like myself could be a little tricky. If I see something that says 15,000, I'm hesitant to press PayPal, right, confirm, because I'm like reluctant. And so Idomar is very aware of this. They understand. They've been trying to do stuff on their end. Unfortunately, there's nothing the airport or we can do on that. That's their own company. But so on our end, what we did have control over was the messaging to consumers. So in the video, you saw the click by click explaining to people how to go through the process. So that way on our end, we're basically holding people's hands and saying, this is how you do it. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. You go here, you click this, and then you're done. So that people would feel a little bit safer, and hopefully we would eliminate that barrier to purchasing Idomar tickets online, because that's where people purchase tickets, right?
Like you stated earlier, as a marketing company, knowing that the deficiency that they have, and can you explain that to them? Tell them, you know what, you gotta work on this as well. I know you're hired by us, but Idomar's part of, like, there are what do you call it, a partner, and in dealing with that, you know their deficiency as well. So we gotta work on this to make this happen, because otherwise we're still gonna lose sales. If people say, you know what, it's just too difficult for me, I want it real easy. Like you said, plug and play, we want that, so.
Yeah, 100%. When I saw that, I was like, that is not something that would ever be passable here. Unfortunately, they are in another country and they are their own entity, so we do have meetings with them and we do provide guidance and we provide suggestions, but it goes so far. Obviously, we're limited as far as like how much control we have over them, right? And they have their own marketing agency as well. So everyone is kind of, their own little planet in the universe, in this case. So while we're on the topic of Idomar, these right here are something else that we do for you guys. So we talked about graphic design. The weird shape is because they're digital ads. So obviously everyone here, we've all been on our phone, right? And there's ads. You get ads served on your phone that are bottom banners. You get ads served on your phone that are side banners. You get ads served that are big squares, depending what website you're on, right? So we make the ads in every single size. So no matter whether you're on any, website that's findable on Google, or whether you're on an app that you pay for or a free app, you can still be delivered these ads. And we'll talk more about dissemination on those in just a sec as well. So that's part of the graphic design element. So some other videos before we switch up real quick, videos We don't have them to show you, but I wanted to let you guys know that currently we're working on some videos that feature the lease properties for the airport. So we've already shot those and they're in the editing process, and they're just to show people the land that's available for lease. So those are gonna go on your website. So if there's airport staff that's maybe out of town or unavailable to show a property, people can go themselves to the website and take a little tour of the land property and see if they're interested in leasing it. So that's pretty cool. Photo is another one, just as important as video. So believe it or not, this is like mind-blowing, right? Till we came in, the airport didn't have an archive of professional photographs, ever. Again, the agency's in New York, right? So how are you gonna get someone, or they never cared enough to send someone down with a camera. So having boots on the ground here in Laredo and such a big team as ours, we've been able to create a huge library of photographs. And these are so important because how many times have we gotten calls from the airport that they're like, hey, we wanna be in this magazine. Do you have a real nice picture of the plane? Yep. Hey, we wanna be in this publication. Do you have a real nice picture of the terminal? Yep. I've never said no to any requests. We have, an amazing archive with hundreds of photos, professional photos, and they get a lot of views. We use them in billboards, we use them in print ads, we use them in digital ads. They had never had this before. So obviously I'm sure you could see the value in that, right? Since now the world we live in is all visual, right? So we need pretty pictures and pretty video because it's like, a kid in a candy store. That's what people gravitate towards. These are all taken by our team. So apart from the photography, so see, these are some of the print samples where we get to use some of the professional photographs. These have all come out either in Laredo Morning Times or national magazine publications that have been purchased by the airport. And these are just some examples, but you see how we use the photographs that we take. The last one in Vegas is obviously stock photography. We don't have a drone shot of Vegas in our archives. Some of the billboard examples, these examples are of ones that have run just recently within the last few months. At one point, Atomar was running this 250 deal, which is spectacular. So you saw that on all the HR billboards, which Laredo Airport has an agreement with. And then Chick-fil-A, obviously, because that was a big deal, and from what I hear, it's doing really, really well. Social media is one of the other things that we do for the airport. That includes Facebook and Instagram. Being a local marketing agency, we've done a lot of research, and through our experience, we've established those are the two most sought after marketing platforms for our community here. TikTok is very popular with a younger demographic. LinkedIn is very popular with a certain niche population, so is Twitter. These two are general public. This is who the airport serves, right? Are you all here on Facebook, Instagram? Yeah, okay. Well, I hope everyone's following the airport. That's the handle. So be sure you're a follower, okay, so you can keep track. So the handle's at Laredo International Airport. So since we've taken over, right here you have some metrics that are on Facebook. This is as of this morning on the Instagram platform. As you can see, the grid is very well thought out. It has a special professional design. It's not like, oh, hey, let's take a picture and post it with our phones. It's professionally done and executed. Everything has some sort of strategy behind it. It's not just on a whim. Everything has a hashtag strategy, a location strategy, and all roads lead back to people clicking on your website. So everything kind of works together to just get people back to find the airport in one way or another. The website as well, if you all haven't visited lately, you can just pull out your phone, right? It's flylaredotexas.com. So one thing about the website that maybe some Laredoans want, but it's just not, is that people always think they can buy tickets on an airline website, on an airport website. That's not the case. Go to any airport, right? And airports don't sell tickets, right? The airlines sell the tickets. So we have access on the website for you to find those airlines, the 4 that are here, to be able to purchase tickets there. But obviously the airport will never sell tickets, right? Okay, so that's a common misconception. You buy tickets through the airlines. So the website, since we've taken over, we did migrate everything over to us. So we're able to, into the city. So the city actually has complete control of this website. We just oversee it and manage. But for example, if anything were to ever happen, they have ownership of it. The metrics on the website are phenomenal. If you look closely here, it tells us that the majority of our audience is English speaking. That's another common misconception, that because we're in Laredo, everyone speaks Spanish, but That's not exactly the case, right? All our public schools here are taught in English. If that was the case, we'd have a Spanish movie theater, right?
Take into consideration, we should reference to the website that the airlines and the airports don't sell tickets. But we have a small airport, we only have 4 airlines, as you mentioned earlier, whereas noted on the website. Do you have the links that you go straight to them, so I don't have
Yes.
to worm, okay?
All of them.
Make it, okay.
All of them. And especially Aeromat, because that's our little special, you know, that we try to take special care of. Oh, good, we're connected.
Let me see if I can connect.
And also, we do care that this is mobile optimized. That's something that we take care of. So when you look at it on your phone, you don't have to pinch to zoom. There's no like awkward layouts. It just accommodates to the size of your screen, whether you're on a tablet, cell phone, desktop, etc.
Yeah, so the other one was, another good feature that the airport was trying to feature is the cost calculator.
So people can plug in numbers here and just determine if it's more cost effective to fly out of Laredo or out of another airport. And 9 times out of 10, Laredo is going to be the winner. Just the parking alone is so advantageous how economical that is here compared to other airports. So you guys are in a very good position.
So when you were saying about the airlines, it is listed as banners coming out. We do also do those banners for the website, and we do any maintenance as far as any content that needs to be updated as well. Right here, if you would click on any of these links, you would be redirected to their own website.
Yeah, but when you guys earlier, I think the word mentioned something about customer feedback or public comments or something. That's one from our perspective that people just get confused about that, and they're like, how much is it for a ticket to such and such? And it's like, well, there's no way that we could possibly give you that information.
So one thing we've been updating on the website has been also the images and content on it, since again, the company from New York had no access to local photos, video. That's one of the things that we've been updating on the website. Content that's local, that's recognizable, that people can relate to. So this is a campaign or a video we've done for the CBB also, where there was 2 influencers shopping at the outlets. We did that video for the CBB, but we also photographed them and used this for the airport as well.
You guys recognize them? They're big influencers in Laredo. Dalia and a former Miss Laredo. Okay. So this part I heard is what you guys are especially interested in from the last meeting. So media planning, you know how I said everyone at our office is a specialist in something? This would be sort of my baby. It's what I've been doing for a long time. What media planning allows us to do is to ask the client, in this case the airport, what is your budget for marketing? So earlier you guys tossed around some really big numbers. That does not go to me, so let's just clear that up. That goes to ad buys. So if they're like, this is for TV, this is for the billboards, this is for Laredo Morning Times, you know, that's what those marketing dollars are for, okay? So I just want to make sure that that's very clear. So when the client tells us, oh, this is how much money we have to spend, well, I'm like, yay, you know, because we get to spend it for them. But what we do is we make a media plan. So based on research and demographics and the end goals, we put together a plan and we bring our suggestions to them. And we say, hey guys, for this amount of money, whether it's $2,000 or $200,000, right? This is how you should split it up. This is how you're gonna get the most return on your investment. And that's what we put together. Some things, oftentimes they don't get approved, and then sometimes they do. And the ones that do get approved are the ones that you all see on your phones and on your televisions and on your paper. So right now, currently, there are 2 ongoing ad campaigns that the airport has that you may have heard about. So the first one is streaming, OTT. I've been doing this for 20 years and I still don't know why they call it OTT. It stands for over the top, but to me that doesn't convey exactly what it does. So does anybody here watch Hulu or Netflix or Amazon Prime or Disney Plus or HBO Max? Right? So in Laredo currently, more than half of the population is a cord cutter, which means they don't have cable at all, like 0.
Or they only have it for the internet.
Yeah. So if you talk to someone at Spectrum, they're like, oh, 75% of the population here has cable. Yes, but it's probably because of Roadrunner, how we used to call it, you know, internet service. But as far as television, paid cable, a lot of people don't have that, less than half, and that number dilutes more and more every single year. So obviously we have to be smart and go in front of where the eyeballs actually are now, which is on streaming. So sometimes you may be watching an app and you didn't pay extra to get the commercials taken out, so you're gonna see a commercial, and oftentimes it'll be for the airport. We do this for a lot of local advertisers. You'll see Laredo Dodge Chrysler Jeep, you'll see Taco Palenque, you'll see Laredo Medical Center, that all do these types of advertising endeavors, because currently this is the #1 way to reach customers. So let me tell you another advantage of this that people absolutely love, the metrics. So for all the years that I did traditional media, TV was king. I mean, you want eyeballs, put it on TV. It's still great, don't get me wrong. But I can tell you, well, your TV commercial's doing great. I wanna say like a bunch of people saw it, something like 10, 20, I mean, great, you know? I can give you guesstimates like that, you know? With this, I can give you precise. I can say 23,772 people were delivered this ad. Out of those people, 5,771 clicked on the ad. Out of those, this many people landed on your website. They spent this much time here. And out of those people that were delivered the ad on the phone, this many of them physically walked into Laredo International Airport within 30 days of seeing that ad. So we love it. Advertisers love it because it holds us accountable and it really gives us a proof of performance. So the airport just started doing this recently around June of this year. So this was the first time that we put those Idomod digital ads that we showed you earlier and that Idomod commercial on people's computer and phone screens. What I loved about it was that in my following meeting with Idomod that following month, knowing that we had been on for a couple of weeks, they were like, wow, they're like, what's going on with ticket sales? Oh my gosh, the ticket sales just like went through the roof. We've never had this much traffic to our website. What's going on? We sold more tickets the first week of June than we did all of spring break. That never happens. What's going on? I didn't want to take credit for it right then and there because it was still early in receiving metrics, but that was the only thing that had been done differently as far as ad placement or any sort of investment by the airport in outside marketing. So everything linked up on our end as far as website visits and everything, as far as traffic, as far as deliverables. So we have a connection that's been established that says that this is working. This works very well. And the proof is in the ticket sales, and Idomod was thrilled by that. So, and I was really happy to report it to the airport staff. But yeah, we've seen it. It's on the incline. It's on the up and up. It's still kind of in the infancy stages. We're in about the second months. Campaigns like this should run for no less than 3 months, and preferably always over 6 months. So that's kind of what we're tracking right now at the moment. And again, campaigns like this come from the budget that you guys were just talking about right now. That's what that pays for. Okay. So apart from that, OTT streaming, the other one that's going on right now is on KGNS. So everyone here is local, so right, so you're familiar with the TV station. It holds a special place in our heart because we worked there for many years, a long time ago in another lifetime. But this being basically the audience that the airport was looking for. They're looking for local people, Laredoans, that don't have to leave out of town to spend their money, and they could fly direct to Mexico City from here for pretty reasonable prices. So one thing I always tell clients is people aren't gonna go to a party if they didn't get the invitation, right? How am I supposed to go to your party if I didn't even know about it, right? So this is the invitation. Putting your commercial on TV is like telling people, hey guys, you know, we're having a party. We invite you to come to our party. So now people can come. What your campaign includes on KGNS is a broadcast schedule. So if you all watch KGNS in the mornings, early today and the Today Show is when you'll typically see the commercial, only because it's targeted to a very specific kind of audience to get a very specific ROI. So if you're watching Minty Casso on the morning show or Savannah Guthrie and Al Roker on the Today Show, you'll see this commercial. We see it all the time. And the purpose of this also is to couple it with digital. Nowadays, we don't do anything unless it's coupled with digital. Here, if you log on to kgns.tv and you try to watch one of their news stories, you have to watch a commercial first. They force you to. You cannot skip it. And five times out of 10, that commercial is yours. Of course, it's shared with other advertisers, right? But you'll see the airport ads on the pre-roll as well. So Idomar, just as of June till now, has been now on streaming services. You can see it when you're watching streaming from your couch at home. It's now being delivered as display ads on your cell phone, no matter which app or website you're on. It's being delivered on television if you're watching the news. And it's also being delivered through their pre-roll commercials on their website. So we have presence that's broad and we have presence that's niche. All of these are targeted. We know everything about the people we're targeting. We know their combined household income is over $75,000. We know these people search vacations. They search for things like Expedia, words that are related to travel. So all that research is built into these campaigns, and so far, even though it's been a very short time, about 2 months or so, we've already seen great traction on them. And this is coming from the results we hear from Idomar. Yes, sir.
So if I don't watch TV, which I don't, I'm just stuck to the computer. So basically, I will not get this type of benefit because if I am not traveling to Mexico, then this will not be of interest to me, only if I'm traveling to Mexico.
Well, it's for all travel intenders. However, right now the priority of the airport is to target those who are flying to Mexico because they're trying to lift up Idomar. So right now that is our initiative. So yes, you are correct. We're focusing on that right now. If at some point you all decide that that's not your priority and that you want to invest more money to capture a different audience, at that point we would help you research and find out the best ways to do so.
And in this type of situation where the city is investing the money, is Idomar investing the money necessary for this particular?
I don't think so, not yet, right?
This investment
That's
is
a deal we
coming
got
from
with
the
them, right?
airport.
Yeah, yeah, we're putting some
giving
marketing
them
there.
money.
And they're supposed to put some marketing on their end in Mexico
Correct.
City also. But I mean, we're putting a lot of effort on it because
Yes.
we want it to be
Yes,
successful.
I remember the last meeting.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things also that we were privy to when we came into the picture here was that the CBB, they do an amazing job, but for whatever reason, whoever guides them or whatever rules they have to spend all their ad dollars outside of Laredo. Correct,
They
Gilbert?
need to bring heads to bed. So that means they want people from Mexico to fly to Laredo, and we're wanting Laredoans to fly to Mexico. So
Exactly.
it's a combined effort. Though.
So we're capturing an audience
Yeah.
here that no one's ever talked to. No one has ever put anything in front of Laredoans to say like, hey guys, we have an airport here. Hey, the parking, it's really cheap here. Hey, you can go direct to like 4 different cities from here. Hey, Mexico City, round trip $250, you're in a lounge with cocktails and 2 carry-ons. No one has ever said that to a Laredoan before because all the ad dollars the city is putting is, like Gilbert said, it's for ad and it's working and it's great, but this is serving a different purpose, right? This is like our hometown audience that we're focusing on to get them to use our local airport to fly to Mexico. So they just have 2 different purposes is all. Does anybody else have any questions? That sums up the 2 campaigns that you all wanted to know about, the OTT streaming and the TV. And again, we told you a little bit about the services that we provide for the airport. But is there any other questions that we can help answer for you at this
I
time?
see that you're really targeting more passenger, and we still have that customs facility that we have available. Are you guys even working on that, or is that in the radar?
That's on the radar, and usually they like to promote that on print publications. I know like the Port Laredo Magazine has did an ad for that. The Laredo Morning Times has had an ad for that, and also that's on the social media channels. But these buys that you're seeing, OTT and KGNS, require money. They require ad spend. So that again comes from whatever budgets you all decide internally, and then you tell us. So once that funnels down to us, that's when we make a plan and we're like, how do you guys want to use this money? You guys want to talk about Idomar more? You want to talk about the FIS more? You want to talk about the land lease properties? Obviously, if you try to do everything, you're not going to accomplish anything, right? So we try to do very targeted approaches with your guidance on what's most important to you at the time.
I have a couple of comments.
Please.
The first one is that the quality of the content is impressive.
Thank you.
I'm really, really impressed.
We're sticklers about that. Thank you for noticing.
Yes, yeah, really, really impressed. The second one is that the website really works very well. I clicked on each airline, and all of them, you know, they send you directly to their website.
Right.
The only one that is not working is Facebook. If you go to Facebook and it says book now, it doesn't work.
So on Facebook, I want to be sure you're on the right page. So unfortunately,
This one?
before we came in, the airport has 2 different pages. Mm-hmm.
Well, this one that you
Is
just
that
mentioned
one?
there, yeah.
I can't see that far, can you?
No, it says Laredo International Airport.
I don't think that's the official one.
Yeah, there's a couple of accounts before we came in, a couple of accounts that we've tried to consolidate on Facebook, social media. Again, because the city at one point or other hires somebody to take care of the marketing within the company, within them, and then they start making their own, so they give permission and access to an employee. An employee leaves, takes that access, the airport or city entity loses that access. So we've tried to consolidate all the accounts and get them back into the airport's hands.
Okay.
There is one out there that this is totally on Facebook. It is not because we have not tried it. Facebook creates Facebook places. So there's a place and then there's a page, and that's 2 different things. A page is something a business, a profile a business creates, whereas a place is something that Facebook does, similar to a Yelp, similar to like the Yellow Book back in the day. It creates an address. So it has created a place where a lot of people are gravitating and putting those pictures, even city officials. So they'll come to an event and they'll post on the wrong Facebook account. Why? Because Facebook created this account because at that point there was no page done for the business. So it created a place, an address.
I would assume they can tell that there's a lack of, what do you call it? Administrative access or whatever, that nobody's using
As
anymore.
far as the user is saying?
Facebook. I would assume that they can tell if it's, I think what you're describing is something that's kind of abandoned.
No, well, it's not abandoned
I mean, by
because
the-
users keep on updating it. They keep posting on it.
But the administrator, whoever set it up, is no longer operating
Right.
it?
We checked out the history on that. It was created back in 2011, 2012. It may have, like I said, it may have been done by an internal employee. I think the thing that happened, Facebook created that place. But since both accounts keep getting updated by user content, we post on stuff for social media for you guys, but also on this other account, there's people coming to the airport, taking a selfie, and they have the same name, so they post to that account.
It's user-generated content.
So if the user-generated content keeps being updated every day, the Facebook won't know which account it is, and even if they create it, they'll say it's still legitimate place. And it's happened, but Facebook and every social media is changing with the times, and I know many of you have seen like changes within your social media accounts, the access, the UI and everything. As it progresses, it will probably give us permission to get access to those accounts. But as of now, there is no access to get access to a Facebook place.
You would think they can tell that whoever set it up is no longer accessing
You know,
it.
you can. We've noticed a lot of people getting their which is owned by the same, Meta owns Facebook and Instagram. A lot of people we know here in the community that have 10,000, 20,000 followers getting hacked.
Yeah.
They can't even get their own account back because Instagram doesn't have any channels to where you can do that through. Like there's no one you can call and be like, hi Instagram, my account got hacked, can you help me get back in? There's no channels for that. It doesn't exist. It is amazing that in this age of technology.
And the other thing that was happening also, some accounts were getting, like Patty said, hacked, but also even if there was, Laredo Airport would have an account, an employee would lose that access, and there's a couple new tools coming out for social media that are beneficial to the overall connection of advertising and marketing. And without that person being in-house anymore and maybe being an employee that got fired and not,
Left on bad terms.
Left on bad terms or whatever, they don't want to give you access to those accounts. So it's good to say that you guys do have access to that. But we have had that trouble of consolidating
with private
accounts.
businesses.
Yeah.
We see that a lot with private businesses, unfortunately. They're like, hey, my intern made my account for me and then I fired them and they don't want to give me the password, and it's like, sorry guy, that's your bad. There's nothing we can do we can't work magic.
Well, it seems like
Just in
that could
case
be a
you're-
very bad thing, though.
It is.
In case you're handling the Facebook website
Thank you.
from the airport, just make sure that the booking option is working, or if not, let's delete it from there because
Okay.
it doesn't give a good impression to the user when
Okay.
you try to book from there.
We'll see what page it's on and we'll make sure
Yeah.
it's up to date.
Now, the other thing is that you mentioned that you've been with the airport for 1 year now?
It's going on 1 year. So remember when we started in June, we were sharing with Advanced Media. We actually really just started ourselves by ourselves at the very tail end of this past year.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I was
That's
gonna ask
when we
you,
started.
in regards to that, what are the numbers on the followers on the
Okay.
website? I mean, we started with how many followers? Now we have 1,030, well, 1,031 because I just started following it.
Yay!
But,
That's good. Thank you.
For me, it seems to be a very low number, 1,000
Compared to
followers.
who?
To La Guardia
Population of
Local.
No.
So, if we're
So-
talking to a local.
For sure, for sure. So, those are two very different types of accounts, right? So if we even look at like official City of Laredo, like the main account, you realize that they had less followers than this until March of 2020. And we all know why that is, right? COVID. And that's when everyone started following to get those updates at first, you know, when we were walking around in astronaut suits freaking out about what COVID was. So events like that do tend to generate an increased content. One way that you could potentially accelerate this is if you guys put money into it. So again, that does not come from us, that comes from you guys. Just like the TV buys and the OT, you tell me, hey, I have this much money, can you grow the Instagram? Sure. All of this has been done organically.
Good.
Thank you
That's
very
good.
much.
Yeah.
No money has been invested into this. So this has been done painstakingly, but with beautiful images, beautiful videos, tagging local community sources. If you don't put in money to boosting and things like that, I think your growth will be a little bit slower. But
Okay.
this is actually very healthy. So when we started, it was at less than half of that. So
Okay.
the growth has been exponential and it's been consistent month over month. But yes, if you ever want to accelerate the growth a little bit faster, I would suggest putting a little money into it.
Of the followers, do you have like a specific demographics? Who's following you and why? It's users, it's travelers, it's adults. Do you know the?
So we have all those analytics from Instagram, and I can actually pull some of that up on my phone right now to share with you. That does change a lot. It changes from time to time. So as of right now, it's loading, boo-hoo. But I can give you some insights once it loads.
Okay.
It does change. So previously, when we looked at it at our meeting last month, we saw that it was primarily women.
Okay.
But that's no surprise,
Yeah.
or that's not really insightful. Women are the easiest people to find everywhere, on television, on all media. Women are the easiest to find. Men are the hardest to find. So if you're targeting men, if you're a business that targets men, good luck with that. No, no, that's why everyone scrambles to put money in NFL, because that tends to be where everyone finds men, and it's really one of the only places on traditional media where you can find them.
It's woman and it's a local woman, or it's woman.
So let me see right here if we can look at anything. I apologize, it's not giving a lot of insights right here on this one. On the insights overview.
Okay.
But we can definitely
Yeah.
provide you with
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Mhm. But like I said, we just looked at it last month together with the admin, and that's where it stood. Most of the people were local, they were Laredoans. So see, it's slowly loading.
Mhm.
So right now, 36% of your audience is ages 35 to 44, which is what you also target on TV and also on streaming. The lowest percentage of people are ages 13 to 17, which is good, because we don't want them. They don't have money. You know what I mean? They're not going to be investing in airline tickets,
Yes,
right? It's going to be the parents. So, and that's also another reason for the differences in growth, right? Because those social media users take up a lot of space online, and that's not who we're looking for. That's not your consumer. So if they're not on your page, that's okay. The second demographic under 35 to 44 is 25 to 34. So it's actually perfect, because everything that we target is between the ages of 25 to 54, adults. Not women, not men, adults. So it's right in line with everything we're doing on the other channels as well.
Thank you.
But yeah, the growth has been exponential. We do have some reports here that we can share with you or send you later. So we've seen a 40% growth on Facebook. We've seen a 3,000% growth on Instagram. And the most important thing on social media are these metrics right here, which are how many likes are there. That's increased by 315% since we've taken over. How many comments are there? That's increased by 2,850% since we took over. How many people are saving your posts? That's increased by 200% since we took over. And how many people are interacting with your posts? That's increased by nearly 400% since we've taken over. So the numbers are pretty spectacular in your favor. So hopefully, with consistency, it's all about consistency, right? You can't just do it one day and then take a break. It's about having it done every day. So we kind of take that obligation off your plate and make sure that it's done for you. And with the consistency come these beautiful results that you all are enjoying.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No other questions?
That was a good presentation.
Very, very
Thank
good
you so
presentation.
much. Good. Anytime you need information on anything, please let us know. Our office is located right here off McPherson. We're a hop, skip, and a jump away, so y'all can stop by, see the studio where we make all the magic happen with Gilbert and his videos. And just take a peek and learn more about how we help the airport.
Anybody any chance related to James Kirby?
No relation.
I wouldn't think there's that many Kirbys.
I know, right? And that's my maiden name, so that's my dad's name. But no, I've never. Is he local? Oh, okay.
Born and raised in Laredo, so I figured y'all had to be related.
Never met him. Never met him. No idea who that is.
He'd be about 54.
All right, there are no more questions. Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on the activity report, so we go to the passenger report. We saw a little decline from prior months on the employment as well as on the decline for the 22. I know Mr. Galo had questions on the numbers, if we're getting the same amount of passengers than prior years. And I told him, yes, I had the numbers right here. Right now, we're currently at 52,868, which is middle of the year. And last year we got 108, and this coming July and August should be pretty good months to report, and we should be hitting the 105, 108 again. Our best number so far has been 110. 115 on the prior years, prior to 2012 or something like that. But we're in good standing right now. We're looking to hit those numbers again pretty soon. Moving on the cargo. Cargo also has been doing good. We're 423 million pounds of cargo activity. That's a 54% increase versus last year. So we're looking at projected 700, 750 for the year on the landed weight. We're currently number 52 rank out of 140 reporting airports. Above us here in Laredo, in Texas, is Dallas and Houston. Obviously, they manage a lot of volume compared to what we have. But we hosted the Dallas people a couple of weeks ago, and we're working on see if we can make some alliances there to have more cargo here. They were interested in the FIS process, so we're working with them and seeing if there's something where we can collaborate there on the cargo side. Moving on the FIS operations, well, it's we've been noticing it's very minimum for the total operations up to July of 76, down from 88 from last year. Yeah, this is low number for ANAM operations. And cargo, it's 4,120. That's higher than last year up to date. So on the cargo side, we're doing good, but we just need, like we said, promote more the FIS and the dual customs option that we have here. We also hosted Monterrey American Chapter of Commerce, I believe they are. We hosted them here, so try to make some alliance to see more usage of the FIS. They were here, they toured the facility. I mean, we're exploring everything that we can so we can make it more successful, the FIS. Moving on the total private and passenger and air charter, we're doing way less than last year at 1,805 compared with 2,851. This is just the private passengers. I mean, hopefully with the new FBO that starts, we hope to break ground in a couple of months or so. This number will grow. Moving on also on the FIS total operations, as we just mentioned, the numbers are not there. We are seeing a decline from last year, from 6,472 to current numbers of 5,925. I mean, we'll continue trying to market it as much as we can and getting as much customers as we can. We're going to trade shows, visiting with the American chapter of the Monterrey Office of the Commerce. Also, we're doing our part, but I mean, it's not an easy market out there. So on the fuel flow report, as we get more activity, it also comes with an increase of total gallons and total revenues for the airport. We've seen a 90% increase, almost 300,000 more than last year, 305,000 more than last year, and obviously the trend continues to go upwards. So we expect to collect more revenue than last year. With 791,000, we're already at 577. So we're expecting to hit the 900, 950 for the year on the fuel flow fees. Moving on the delinquent report, we have 3 customers. There was one company that we removed from here. We received a notification that they were filing for bankruptcy. They owe us $3,000, Randall, that's correct. So we're losing out on those $3,000. We're getting that back. So currently we have Aeromat for landing fees, Jet Solutions, and NetJets for a total amount of $7,300. I mean, it's not a big concern, but we keep sending bills and calling and do everything we can to collect that money. Not because it's not much, we'll stop doing our efforts to collect that money. So moving on the construction report, I'll hand that over to Andrew.
Construction's currently on schedule and is at 25%.
25%. That's for the G1 and G2 taxiways. We're going up for bids for the other taxiway, H1 and H2. We opened up bids, I think, the last couple of weeks, so we should be selecting somebody to do that other project also. On general staff comments, we already told you that we hosted a couple of people here from the Dallas Airport and the Monterrey Chamber of Commerce for the FIS. We also met with Frontier Airlines, trying to get some more traffic here to the airport. We will be meeting again in October with Frontier and several others, but we'll be following up with Frontier. There might be a possibility there. They closed their route from Harlingen, so might be one plane available. We'll be hoping to get some of that market out. So I don't know if any of you have any requests that you want us to include there or put there for the next agenda.
Other than the one I continue to request.
Correct. We'll move on to the request on the status update on the consultant services agreement between the City of Laredo and Rafael Dueñas, doing business as Remco Group for Economic Development Consulting Services, Again, same as last month, as of this point, we have not paid anything. We have not received any bill from the Economic Development Department that he has submitted to them. So basically, there's no activity so far.
So he's working through the economic development on this.
The Economic Development Office are the ones that, they are
The city? The city or the?
The city Economic Development Department is the one that administers the contract. So the deal was, he will do work, then submit all the invoices to the Economic Development Department. They will approve and then hand that us to over, okay, you need to pay this much, or or Bridge needs to pay this because he did this work. But as of today, from the city, from the Laredo the Economic Development Department, we have not received anything that, any job that he has performed for the airport. Not sure if he has done anything for the bridge because I wouldn't be able to see any of those bills. But as of the airport, we have not paid anything for this current fiscal year.
Is there any way to find out why no reports, no requests? Is he actually doing something? He has.
Well, I mean,
he reports directly to.
He should be reporting or as far as my understanding is that he will work on a plan, a plan for both airport and bridge with back then with Teclo Garcia, who was the economic development director, but he left. Story of Laredo.
Does that null and void a contract, or because Teclo left, or not really?
No, because it was on a council approved contract.
Well, I know, and I kind of have a feeling, to answer her question, we probably won't get a report until after we get the invoices, then we can kind of aggressively pursue that.
Yeah.
But as of right now, you're just sitting and waiting until he provides an invoice. So.
Correct. And I made it very clear that we cannot just pay because we're ruled by FAA money. So we cannot just pay whatever they decide to work on. Like, let's say if he goes to Tonalá or whatever and tries to do some business or well, there's not even an airport there, so I mean, that would not justify with the FAA for me to pay for that consulting services or something. It has to be something that is related to the airport, that is going to bring activity for either for cargo or commercial activity. It has to be 100% related to the airport.
I would think if it's like a kind of contract where there's a certain amount of hours that are budgeted for whatever kind of consulting, that it would require somebody to sit down and nail down the scope and a certain little budget for whatever they're going to do and then do it.
Yes, and so that was
that hasn't been done.
That was part of the Teclo Garcia, sitting with him and giving him guidance and objectives. I don't know if that ever happened.
It may have happened and
then he left.
Yeah. But it would still count, I think.
Yeah.
He may have things to work on that were approved by somebody.
Yeah.
That we don't know about.
Yeah.
Do you know this individual?
No, I know them, but I don't really know them.
And that's why I'm keeping an eye on this to make sure that the function is as stated, because if not, it's just self-serving.
We ought to be able to find out from that department, even though Teclo's not there.
Yeah.
Miriam needs
whatever they've documented, if anything.
Yeah, I can ask for that if available. I'm sure she can provide it to me.
Maybe it would be a good idea if you send them an email just for you to be protected that nobody has presented anything to you.
Yeah.
As of today, you know.
Sure.
I do have a couple of requests.
Okay.
Since I'm the new member here at the board, I know very little about the airport, so for me it would be very helpful if we could have on the following meeting financial reports as per balance sheet, profit and loss, where we are, how many employees do we have here, just to have a better idea of what, you know, what the numbers are, you know, where we stand.
Okay.
It would be very helpful.
Okay.
And on the Aeromar, or the route to Mexico City, I'm kind of concerned because if we compete with San Antonio, I just checked on my phone, we are very competitive here. Now it's going to be 350, not 250, right? Yes. And over there it's 550. 550. Yeah, I just checked right now.
Yeah.
The thing is that Nuevo Laredo has a new flight and it's $125.
Mm-hmm.
So
Correct.
So I don't know if this is really gonna work or not.
Yeah, when we went through that a couple of months ago, or maybe more, when we saw the news that Viva Aerobus was opening in Nuevo Laredo, new route. The reasoning is that Aeromar caters to other market, right? That they are not in the ultra low cost, which is Viva Aerobus. I mean, I don't know if you all traveled with Viva Aerobus before.
I have. I do it every
Yeah.
2 weeks to Guadalajara.
To Guadalajara.
And they're the ones that have the newest airplanes, by the way.
Yeah, the planes are very good. I mean, the service might not be, the customer service might not be great, but I mean, you get the job done, and but they charge you for everything. I mean, so that's where we kind of go into what Patty was saying, that it includes the lounge, it includes the luggage, to check bags. When you get into Mexico City, they have their own terminal, so it goes faster. I mean, and you can save on a lot of time that will make it a lot more competitive, but for that, it's all marketing, because it's all the added value that Aeromar provides.
Okay.
And
Also,
besides, there's a lot of
it's
people.
very convenient for us here.
Yeah, it's very convenient. There's a lot of people that don't want to go across.
Yeah.
And also, there's the misperception. Only people see the Aeromar planes and they see the propellers and say, "Oh my God, that's not." But they're brand new planes. They're just different type of planes.
Is it working? I guess the question is that, is it working? right
Yeah,
now?
well, as Patty mentioned, the numbers right now, they're increasing for these couple of months. They were very happy, but as a whole, the flight, the load capacity is not there. So they're having a loss. That's what we had an amendment on the contract. We subsidize a little bit more because the numbers are just not there. But it goes back to people from here, from Laredo, don't know that flight exists. So that's why we're focusing on the social
media. And I
media.
decoded to 2 flights this month. It's only 2 flights per
Friday
week.
Friday and Monday, I think.
And this
Friday
month.
and Monday, right?
Yes. But if the demand is there, they left the door open that if the demand is there, they could bring back the third flight.
The third flight.
Yeah.
Okay.
But right now, to minimize the loss and minimize the amount we pay, because we're subsidizing, we came to an agreement that cut 1 flight, cut your losses, and do 2 flights. And if the demand is there in November, December, which are high months, bring it back.
Okay.
That's it. Any other requests? Nope. All right, we're done with the agenda, Mr. Chairman.
I just have an idea that occurs to me having our presentation is maybe marketing some particular things. Like, I'm not very familiar with what to do in Mexico City myself. I've heard good things about it.
Yeah.
But if somebody that knew a thing or two about it could put together some ideas of what
great
to
idea.
do,
That is a great
that I could trust the right kind of like the information you get from the people that sell travel.
Yeah.
They know all the ins and outs.
Correct.
So maybe we can put together a little package like that.
Okay.
Great idea.
Any other comments? Motion adjourned? All right, we got both of them.
Second.
George and Joel. Okay, meeting adjourned.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.